Yesterday, I did a video on the current transit of Saturn in Capricorn in 2021. And I looked back and actually to just see what was going on, around about 30 years ago when we had the same transit again. Obviously, Saturn in Capricorn has a completely different energy to any other sign. It is extremely rigid, extremely cold, extremely heavy, and very depressing because it's very, very structured, very pressurized energy. So it's the Lord of the 10th natural sign of the zodiac being there, and it's really. We can really feel it, because this means also the governments are very, very strong. And when I looked, around about this time, 30 years ago, the Gulf War started, so we were told all this stuff about the weapons of mass destruction. There was all this confusion around the world, and it became really, really scary, and suddenly, there was going to be a war. So it's really heavy stuff, So we're going through a similar sort of thing, but it's kind of a different sort of a war really now, isn't it? Because we're fighting a virus at the moment. And consequently, governments are very strong. There are lockdowns and we're being restricted. And we're all very fearful as well, because we're fearing longevity. We're fearing families' health, things like that. And we're also fearing some people have lost their job, livelihoods. Some people have lost their businesses and their homes as a result. So it's very, very serious. And the economy is weak as well in most countries now. So they kind of that the recovery from this situation is going to be it's not going to be overnight. It's going to take time. So it's very difficult to feel great, generally speaking. But if you have very sort of benefic planets in Capricorn, or Capricorn is your fourth house from ascendant, fourth house from your moon, or if you're a Cancer ascendant or Cancer moon, you're now getting that's kind of, you're feeling that that lack, restriction, that kind of pressure now from Saturn. So it is difficult. It's actually difficult for everybody, but certain, obviously, some people are really, really feeling it. People who are feeling it most are people who are going through their Sadasati, which is where the 7.5 years of Saturn kind of shaking you from absolute core, absolute foundations being shaken. So if you Capricorn moons have been feeling the pressure building up probably about 3 years ago, and now they are fully into their Sadasati, where the literally, I mean, obviously that Saturn and Moon are not friendly towards each other. Saturn is really heavy, really dry, very rigid, very disciplined, and Moon, which is our mind, it's our happiness, it's our heart chakra, it's just being squashed by Saturn. So it's really, really difficult. And obviously they still have another year of this going before it moves to Aquarius. And even then, it's still kind of unraveling things when it's in, but there'll be relief then once it moves in the sort of end of April next year. But also for people who've got Jupiter, Venus and Mercury, all the sort of benefic planets sitting there as well, they're having a really tough time. It's probably not even that easy for people who've got an exalted Mars there, any planet there, anything there is probably still feeling the pressure. And so I was just thinking, the things that we can do, because obviously in the previous video, I would actually put the link for the other video under this as well, but there are things that we can do. So for the moon, it's very important to, if you're not close to your mum, to start reconnecting with your mum, even if it's very small bites. I think it's very important, if you don't get on with your mum, to actually do it in very small bites and do it so you are in control. So I would probably say, make sure when you have ample time and you have the energy, because obviously Saturn on Moon can give you depression. So And those of you who have it in your chart, bless you, you probably know what it's like. So it's real heavy pressure. So to just kind of choose your time when you want to do that. So you choose once a month or once every 4 weeks, say on a Sunday or on a Monday, being a moon day, even better, to actually ring your mum and have a very make it very much about them. So make a happy, short conversation. You control it. So you make sure it's not going to overrun by anything. And never get into an argument. Just have a really, I was thinking about you. I hope you're okay. How are you? And just keep it really short. How's your sister, how's auntie this, how's uncle that. Just kind of allow them to talk and vent. And just say to them, I need to go, when you feel as though, there's no more conversation to be had. So it was lovely to talk to you. I'll call you soon, but I've got to go now. So you just make it very pleasurable and off you go. But you know that you are literally opening that door of hope, and then you can do it again the following 4 weeks later, and just make it so, and just try and tap into some memory things and just saying, oh, I did see that photograph of you in blah, blah, when it was Uncle blah, blahs, and you had that beautiful dress on, you look really pretty. So try to actually give them compliments, because when it's a difficult situation between you and your mum, you need to kind of also stroke their ego. And the more you do this, and it does take a while to get into the groove of things, the more you do it, you become better at it. And you make them happy, and knowing that any human being, when the moment that they know you make somebody else happy, but that's lovely, and even if you get some abuse, just be the bigger person, and just overlook it, because you're here there are some karmas that we're working through, and it's best to know that, yeah, I've done my bit now, and then if they are sort of like aggressive with you, don't think that you're not going to do it again. Do it, but do it when it feels right for you. So I would say that's really good. And also, if there's a single mum that you know who is struggling with money or struggling with something, then maybe you can help them. That would be absolutely amazing. Excuse me. Obviously, moon also, I would urge everybody to really make sure that you get good sleep, and come off your devices, make a pact with yourself that you actually get ready and be in your pajamas or whatever, ready to go to bed an hour before you're deciding to go, so you can start winding down and getting sort of yourself relaxed before you go to bed, rather than leaving out and falling asleep in front of the in front of the TV or something. Just giving yourself time to like sort of adjust to the bedtime thing. Taking baths is really good as well, because moon is a water element, so it will enjoy that too. And also, I think the other thing is as well is spending time in nature, which also helps the moon, helps the mind. And also helps Venus and Mercury as well, because by doing that, actually walking is a mercurial action, because it rules the natural third house. And obviously Mercury also rules, because the natural third house thinking process as well. So you actually positively giving your mind a rest, and your thinking process can improve as well. And also you're activating Venus as well, because Venus is the beauty of nature. So, and all of that, because also Jupiter rules ether element as well. So it's like space, being out in space and not being cooped up in your home as well. That kind of makes you happy as well. So all of those things can also help. Then, and I also think that's really good to just kind of give for the moon, if you have got the money and you can afford it, to just like pay towards a woman's refuge, mothers who would like being abused or something like that. That would be really nice too. Then for Venus, I think Venus rules all the beautiful things in the world. I mean, when you have when you work on Venus, you just view the world completely differently, because Venus is not extravagant. Venus, like, I mean, it rules color white, you know, so it rules the fabric cotton. So, you know, I would probably say, you know, if you have like, you want to improve your Venus. Venus obviously rules the second natural house of the zodiac. And so it's food and what you put in your mouth and what you kind of like. It's that kind of like getting your senses tantalized by food. So I would probably say really look at the food that you're eating. You know, are you eating good food? Are you eating too much sugar, which is damaging your Jupiter as well? And always try not to eat when you're either working or walking. Always make sure when you sit down and eat, just sit down and just eat and chew every morsel and be grateful for every morsel. I think there's nothing more beautiful than having a meal, having less food, less meals, but having 2 or 3 really good meals and just really sitting down and enjoying it. I think there's nothing worse than actually eating, because eating on the move, you never register you've eaten. Your body's not going to digest it very well. So why even have it? Because the moment you have it, you think, oh, I'm still hungry. So that is one of the best things you can do to enhance your Venus, is to actually take the time, cook your food, get really good quality food, get colourful sort of vegetables and salady stuff, and actually give yourself a feast for the eyes, which is Venus, and eat it properly. You know, it's nothing more enjoyable than that. And that eating properly will enhance your digestive system, which is again Mercury. So all of that helps. And so as a result, when you digest better, you eliminate better. So that kind of almost, because you've got to think that all of the houses are always in action in everything that we do. So, and when your digestion and elimination is better, you just feel better about yourself and you can sleep better and you dream better as well. So you're even if you have, you know, you only sleep, I don't know, 6 hours a night or something, but the quality of that sleep will be so much more enhanced. And then I'm just thinking also, you know, with Jupiter. So Jupiter obviously is the planet of optimism and higher knowledge. I always think it's really good to kind of read something to do with Jupiter, because Jupiter obviously is culture, because it rules the 9th natural house of the zodiac, which is all to do with culture. And here's my favourite thing, because I love literature and I love classical literature, and I just find some of their you don't even have to have books anymore, because you can go online, you can get extracts from different things, different books, and but why not even go into a library if once they open, or even online libraries, and actually just read about things to do with, you know, ancient Greece or old Hindu traditions, and actually reconnecting with the old traditions of, and there's so much wisdom in that. It's amazing how, you know, you learn so much. Like, for example, the whole concept of air conditioning came to realization hundreds and hundreds of years ago in a little place in the old Persia. You know, it's amazing what you can learn and share that knowledge with other people, because that's what Jupiter is all about, like learning and teachings, and it just makes you a much more interesting person than just keep talking about the vaccine and the virus. You know, it's just, honestly, I just can't imagine. I have stopped watching the news because it's so depressing. But there's so much beauty in reading, you know, reading classical literature, just all those beautiful things. And one of the things that I really think people can also do is, I've just recently had a Vastu reading, because I just feel as though I'm spending a lot more time at home now, and obviously I live in a tiniest little flat in the UK, and obviously this is like in Vastu, which is like Feng Shui. Feng Shui comes from Vastu. Vastu is about like living in your space in harmony. So literally, homes built in the UK, on the whole, they are literally they have very bad Vastu. And because there's lack of space in the UK generally, and in the more populated cities, they've literally have got lots of nooks and crannies and crevices, and they've built sort of like cupboards, and there's what they call in Vastu extensions everywhere. So there's like energy flow in the buildings are really wrong, as the toilets sometimes can be in the wrong areas, and so it just means that you literally every time you use in the bathroom and flushing, the wealth of whatever you're earning is going down the pan. So it's really, really difficult. So I just thought, I would slowly kind of start sharing some of that with you. But if you're working from home, although I obviously I have studied some color chakra, and for some of us, even the very auspicious areas, directions are not very good for us. So bear that in mind when I'm saying this. But generally speaking, the east, northeast, and north are the very, very auspicious areas, because obviously they're run by Jupiter and the Sun, and they are very auspicious. And so you want to kind of when you're sitting at your desk, it's really good if your back is to a southern, if you're facing north, it's very good. And if you're facing north and you are, but you try not to have your, like right now, trying to make sure that your chair is about 6 inches away from the wall, so you're not absorbing any of the electrical, field that's behind you. So you just want to be slightly away from the wall, about 6 inches or so. And on your desk, try and have, like if you're going to have like a candle, have it like in your southeast, because that's like southeast is the area of Venus. So it's like, and Mars and all of that. So you just want to just like have a candle sitting there. Make sure your water on your desk is in the sort of northeast of your desk. On your northwest, you want to have like a feather or something like that, because that's where moon is basically. And then on the west, you want to have something heavy like a gemstone or something like that there, because that's Saturn. So all of that kind of gives you all the elements there, and just kind of brings a little bit of balance to it. I find when I do that, actually, what it does, it gives me more creative ideas for videos, because, obviously I'm working, I'm doing, doing videos is really hard, because you do them and then you think, oh my gosh, there was no sound, or you made a mistake, or you coughed, or somebody was at the door. So it's really difficult. You're taking and, constantly retaking videos. So I found that it just gave me more ideas, and it does bring out the creativity, because you're tapping into the areas. Literally, you'll be more harmonious with your environment. So I hope that helps, and if I do get any other things, I'll share it with you, because I know this is a very difficult time, and if we can help each other in any way, we should. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.